Vandalism and theft at schools has been escalating, especially during the Covid-19 pandemic. It's a major concern for the Basic Education Department, Tirelong Secondary in the northwest. It's between the mining town of Kroondal and Rustenburg, has been attacked multiple times. The latest attack was in December. The Northwest Education Department says criminals stole water taps, electricity cables, doors, windows, frames, computers and printers. So they basically took whatever they could lift. So then, with schools reopening on Wednesday, the department has been forced to find alternative accommodation for pupils who are supposed to go back to Tirelong. Let's get an update on the situation with Northwest Education spokesperson Elias Malindi. Mr. Malindi, a very good evening to you. Welcome to the program. Why is Tirelong seemingly especially vulnerable to criminals in the Northwest?
Good evening, Temekile. What happened, we managed to communicate with the community in the area. They say the school, it has been there for many years, but this vandalism started in 2017. It happened repeatedly after 2017. So together, the department and the local mining house that site, we tried to renovate the school several times. Every time after, maybe like after the lockdown, that is where we experience a massive vandalism at that school. So ever since from 2017, this thing has been escalating in such a way, this school is not ready to reopen next week when other schools will be reopening.
The situation at Tirelong is so bad that between March of 2020, at the beginning of the lockdown, and today, that school has been hit by criminals 5 times. What has been done to actually secure it when you know it's so exposed?
We consulted with the communities, all the different stakeholders in the area, because we believe that a school within the community, it should be a property of the community, because a school helps to develop the community. So it should be the property. So we were talking with the community that they should be the eyes and the ears of the government, because anything that happens at the school, it should be reported. And that is what is happening with other communities around the province. Like we've got other communities, whenever they see something happening like that, immediately they stand up and make sure that they prevent whatever that is happening at their school.
But is there security at Tirelong?
It's something that the department is looking into, as we are now, we have consulted other schools in the area whereby we are going to relocate the learners in the meantime, because the school is not ready to resume during the reopening. So as the department will be going back to look at all the aspects on what is it that we can do going forward to make sure that the learners get the quality learning within their area.
You'd agree then that as the Department of Education in the Northwest, you failed Tirelong and the surrounding community that relies on the school, because if it's been hit multiple times between 2020 and late 2021, five robberies within that period, and there's no security and you're relying on the community to be your eyes and ears, that is negligent.
Tembekile, I wouldn't say that because what we have done in other areas, we are working together with the communities to make sure that we look after our schools. There are those schools whereby there were some challenges, and we have identified those areas as hotspot schools, including this one. That is when we have also looking into the matter to also categorize this as a hotspot. But the way, at the rate it has been happening, it has been in a very, very shocking way, the way this vandalism has been happening in this particular area.
And I appreciate that, sir, but to my mind, the first time a school gets robbed, okay, maybe it's a once-off event. It gets targeted a second time, and then a third, and then a fourth, and then a fifth, with no increase in security. That it speaks to poor planning.
I wouldn't say so. As the community. Schools are our property, and we should ensure that definitely we guard against any criminal activity that could be taking place in our schools. And also, when you look at issues of budget, when we talk of security, we also talk of budget. So our budget is also limited to curriculum specifically. So those are the issues that we are going to make sure that as we go back, we look into all those aspects on what is it that we can do going forward to ensure that we provide quality learning to these particular learners of Tirelong.
The challenge then with the lack of actual security and the reliance on the communities that even after you've repaired Tirelong, after this latest attack, there's likely to be another one, because relying on the community as your eyes and ears is clearly not working. Is it that the community itself knows who's doing this but simply won't report them precisely because they know who it is?
As we will go back, we are going to go back and look on all other aspects on what is it that we can do, because we believe that learners must get quality education within their area. And then I would not preempt at the moment what is it that we are going to conclude on. So as soon as the department sits down, it will come up with a plan on what is it that is going to be done, whilst the learners will be accommodated in other schools.
How many learners, how many pupils will be affected by this resettlement, and how and where will you spread them as far as temporary schooling?
We have spoken with the local high schools in the area. So we have also put aside the grade 12 learners. So the grade 12 learners will be getting a special arrangement that has been that we are busy working on. So there are other local high schools within the area where we are going to spread these learners. So I wouldn't be able to be specific about the number, but we are going to make sure that transport is provided for all the learners. Parents are not going to spend any money in ensuring that learners get transported to the schools.
How long do you expect that they'll have to be at these temporary schools? And will they be taking, or will they be moving with their teachers as well, or simply being incorporated to what is already existing there at the different school?
We are going to make sure that teachers also will be incorporated with them wherever they are. We are not sure yet how long this process is going to take, but what is important is to make sure that our learners do not lose any day without teaching and learning. So hence we have decided that we should relocate them to other schools, whilst we are sitting down and making sure that we come up with a plan of resolving this problem permanently now.
Elias Malindi, I'll suggest once more that if you're going to resolve this permanently, you're going to have to secure that school beyond people being your eyes and ears. But for now, thank you very much for being on the program. Elias Malindi speaks for the Northwest Education Department.